Good morning, everyone. I am Franco Gilbert, and this is my excuse me. This is my video diary of Better Self Challenge. Well, upon leaving class the other day on Wednesday, I started thinking about how can I be a better me, and realizing that pretty much I am structured where I have a daily routine of things that I do throughout the day, and somehow I couldn't really figure out as far as how to best that. But then again, I realize as a flexible person, there's always room for improvement. So here it is. When I left class, pretty much got home for a little bit because I only had like a few hours before I started preparing myself for work. So I decided to look around just to see exactly what needed to be accomplished that I have been putting aside for God knows how long, and realized there was quite a few things. So I attacked those things and realized that there was no reason whatsoever why I actually put them to the side. Just that somehow the priority, it just did not fit the top of my priority. And now that everything is done and accomplished, I realized that I could actually have all these tasks handled at an earlier time, or should I say a much sooner time. And got ready for work that day and headed to work at my job also too, because we are somewhat numbers driven. By that I mean we have goals that we actually have to meet, or some people call them quotas, but we call them goals, and we have them set. And also we kind of like, in order to attack these goals, we actually list a set of priorities that have to be met in order to actually achieve those goals. And those priorities are workable type priorities. I don't really want to go into detail, but these priorities are somewhat like bare minimums of what people could do, not really their personal best. With that being said, because I am somewhat in the control aspect of these priorities, as far as somewhat of a coordinator, as far as making sure that these priorities are met, I realized that I not only can I meet those priorities, I can actually exceed those priorities as far as getting things done today and get everything ready for tomorrow and better fact, like, as far as that goes, I would honestly say it took one day for me to actually get everything done for that day and for the next day, so that way by the end of the week we can look at downtime, or should I say early release, of some people that have been working their hardest throughout the entire week, where they can actually buy weeks and they can somewhat take it easy, kick back, if you want to say, drag feet or whatsoever, so that way come the next week they're a little bit better refreshed and their morale is slightly elevated, where they can actually get things done, because they know once they actually get things done, then there's a reward, there's an end reward, which is downtime, and everybody loves a downtime. I love a downtime. So we it was kind of like a win-win situation. And after work that day, which took me like a little bit later than usual to actually get home, because when I usually get home it's like around 2 in the morning, but this time it happened to be 3, almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And by some people that's kind of like ridiculous, but to me that seems a little bit normal, considering I'm supposed to work till midnight, but usually it takes me till 2 o'clock to actually get home. And this day it took me till 3 o'clock to get things done. But then again, like I said, we met priorities, exceed them, and that way by the weekend we were actually able to enjoy some downtime. Win-win, of course. And when I got home, uh, realized that my youngest, I don't know, for some odd reason, she's like a night owl where she doesn't sleep. So she stayed up for me, and realized as soon as I opened the door, she started calling my name. Usually I try to actually duck and dive and avoid all of that so that way she tires herself out and go to sleep. But this time I was like, hey, why not? I still have some energy left and it's only 3 o'clock in the morning, but why not? So we actually got to spend a lot of time together. I realized that she loves the fact that I sing and read to her, so I decided to actually do that. Mind you, everybody's asleep at that time, and everybody's trying to actually stay asleep before they have to get up in a couple hours. But we decided, you know what, it was our time. It was daddy-daughter time, so that way we can actually just play. Well, I'd say, in all fairness, that made me feel tremendously better, where I can actually go for this many hours and getting as much done as possible, actually a little bit more than possible done, only because I started focusing and prioritizing what I needed to get done and realized that once these priorities have been achieved, have been met, that I still have time to actually like relax and enjoy it, and actually sometimes reflect, where I look back and realize, you know what, it was not that hard. All I had to do was somewhat focus on the task handed so that way I could get it done. And it's one of those practices that I should be accustomed to, but sometimes because life gets in the way, sometimes you kind of shift those priorities and those routines, attitudes, whatsoever. Well, that is all I have for you, and hopefully there's another challenge handed where I can see what else I'm made of. All right, that's all. Signing off. Bye.